Gift deed. Deed used to give a property to another. A gift deed is the type of deed that is used to give a property (transfer title) to another person or entity. Want to give your property to a charity or your child? Use a gift deed. Since every transfer requires consideration (something of value exchanged in both directions of a bilateral contract) the consideration of a gift deed is love and affection. The tax consequences of such a gift are another issue. Remember, a deed is a piece of paper used to transfer title and property from one person to another. A gift deed is the deed used to give a property to another person or entity. Related words: title, contract. Civil Rights Act of 1866. Federal law prohibiting racial discrimination. The Civil Rights Act of 1866 made discrimination based on race illegal. This included transactions like buying real estate. A law just doesn't change an embedded culture instantly, though. Over time, and continuing today, laws regarding fairness of interaction between people in America continue to move forward. The Fair Housing Amendments Act of 1988, or the Fair Housing Act, expanded fairness in real estate transactions to exclude discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, and familial status. Now real estate professionals are required to show the Equal Housing Opportunity logo, the house with the equal sign inside it. Related words: Equal Housing Opportunity Provider. Escheat. Real property goes to state when no heirs or will exist. Escheat is what happens when a property owner dies with no legal heirs and no will. Escheat means that the real property of a person who has died with no will and no heirs goes to the state. Escrow instructions. Instructions on how to complete a real estate transaction. Escrow instructions are usually included in the purchase agreement. The instructions tell the escrow officer exactly how to proceed with the transaction. The escrow officer is a neutral third party to the real estate transaction. The escrow agent will follow the instructions unless both parties, the seller and the buyer, agree in writing to change the instructions. Escrow is considered not to be a face-to-face closing like used in some states. A face-to-face closing has all parties and their agents at the table at the same time, and all aspects of the transaction are handled in one sitting, if possible. Escrow instructions are instructions to the escrow agent or officer on how to complete the real estate transaction. Related words: escrow. Agricultural property A, zoning or zone. Property zoned for farming, raising crops, and livestock. Zoning is a method used by city planners to divide a city into similar use areas. Common zone types include A, agriculture, C, commercial, M, manufacturing, P, public areas like parks or public parking. R, residential. R1, single-family residential. R2, duplex residential. R3, multiple residential. R4, 4-unit or higher residential. PD, planned development, and possibly as many more specific purpose zones as may be designated by the city or municipality depending on its unique needs. Agricultural zoning allows farming, raising crops, and livestock. Related words: zoning. Purchase money loan. Loan made in conjunction with purchasing property. A purchase money loan is the opposite of a hard money loan. A hard money loan is a cash loan with the property as collateral. A purchase money loan is a loan for the value of the property as opposed to cash. A purchase money loan can also be another name for a carryback loan. If a seller of real property has built up equity, then he or she can loan this equity to a buyer. With the property as security, the seller financing purchase money loan will most likely take a subsequent priority position behind any new bank loan if there is one. Why would a seller want to do this? Probably either to make it easier for the buyer to buy or to spread the profit of the sale out over time to avoid taxes, or both. A purchase money loan is a loan made in conjunction with purchasing property or seller financing for all or a portion of the value of the property, just like a carryback loan. Synonyms: carryback loan. Antonyms: hard money loan. Related words: seller financing. Leasehold estate. Good standing tenant's right to occupy and use property. A real property which is being rented by a tenant or leased is called a leasehold estate. The opposite of a leasehold estate is a freehold estate. Tenants have rights according to the terms of the lease as long as they are in good standing. Even tenants who are not in good standing have rights to keep the eviction process as professional and fair as possible. If the lease is still in effect, the tenant in good standing has the right to occupy and use the property. These good standing tenant rights are called a leasehold estate. Synonyms: less than freehold estate. Antonyms: freehold estate. Related words: estate. Real property. Attached to land, appurtenant, immovable by law. There are two types of property: personal property and real property. Personal property, or chattel, is anything that is movable like furniture, clothes, cars, or paper, parentheses, like a contract or lease, end parentheses, and is sold with a bill of sale. Real property is the opposite in that it is fixed or attached to land and anything immovable by law. Real property is immovable and is sold by deed. A light fixture, parentheses, like a chandelier, end parentheses, is attached and therefore is real property and comes with the house unless otherwise noted. Water on the property is real property until it is bottled, and then it becomes personal property. Real property is attached to land, appurtenant or immovable by law. Antonyms: chattel, personal property. Bundle of rights. Legal rights, which is ownership of real property. To quote-unquote own a real property, parentheses, that which is immovable, end parentheses, is a complicated thing which is explained by a, quote, bundle of 5 rights, end quote. The bundle of rights for real property is said to include the 1. Right to possess and exclude. 2. The right to use within the law. 3. The right to encumber or borrow on the value of the property. 4. The right of quiet enjoyment. And 5. The right of transfer or convey. While there are many mnemonic devices to help remember these 5 rights, we haven't found a favorite one yet. Maybe go through the following and see if you can remember what they mean. P&E, UWTL, BOTV, QE, and TOC. Monetary policy. Government actions on national money supply. Monetary policy are the policy decisions of the government made regarding money. The government is concerned with creating and maintaining an environment which encourages its citizens to make intelligent, long-term financial choices which will stabilize the nation's economy. The Federal Reserve is the branch of government mainly commissioned with looking after these issues. The chairman of the Federal Reserve is the face of this branch and the government. One of the main aspects of current monetary policy is to encourage lending by adjusting the interest rate at which the government lends banks money, which they in turn lend to citizens. Monetary policy is a group of government actions which affect the national money supply and hopefully have a positive effect on the national economy.